Hello, welcome back to Chantae's Listening. Here we have JaVonna. We're going to be talking about relationships, parenting, and healing. So, tell us a little bit about yourself, JaVonna.
I am 34. My birthday just passed last week.
Happy birthday.
I have a 5-year-old son. I'm currently in school getting my master's in social work. I graduate in May. Can't wait. And I'm just chilling right now.
You said you have one child.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name?
Travis.
So describe Travis in a couple of words.
Funny, energetic, and smart.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So which parent does he get that from?
I think he get it from a little bit of both of us. He is us in a small version, 100%. Like, he do everything that we do. So we literally have to watch what we do because he mimic everything.
Right. How did you feel when you found out that you were pregnant with Travis?
Surprised. And kind of like not sure because before I had Travis, I didn't want kids.
Right.
So he was a surprise. So I guess I was surprised and not sure if I wanted to keep him.
Oh.
Yeah.
So like, what emotions were you feeling? Like, how did that make you feel, being that you went from not wanting kids to now I have to make a decision whether or not I want to deal with this?
I think it was like scared. I was scared because like I didn't know. I took care of other kids as far as like my nieces and stuff like that. But to have your own kid is totally different.
Right.
You can't give them back. But I think I was scared because I didn't know how to be a mom. One, I was partying, drinking, doing all the things
that you wanted to do.
That I wanted to do, and I could just get up. And I was thinking all these things like right now I could just get up and go when I want to go.
Right.
Babysitter, and then I had just moved here probably like 2 years prior, so I didn't have really many family members here to help me.
Right.
So I was thinking about support,
right,
and all those things. But then when I went to my first doctor's appointment to do the pregnancy test, and I heard his heartbeat, and then it was just like, okay, I'm not gonna do it.
Right.
Yeah.
What was the most surprising aspect of early childhood?
For me or for Travis?
For Travis.
Making sure that, for me, it was making sure that he knew all the things that he was supposed to know, like he met all his milestones. I was the mom that was always teaching him something.
Right.
Which is why he's so smart now, because even from a little baby, like I was reading to him.
Right.
And trying to get him to talk, say words, like knowing that he couldn't say it, but still.
Right.
And then one of the most important things we did was we talked to him regularly. We didn't like talk baby talk to him when he was a baby. So,
right.
Yeah.
Period. So how did you deal with like the postpartum depression and things like that after Travis was born?
I don't think I had postpartum depression. Once I came home with him, like I was all into him, like very overprotective about every little thing, like making sure that I do all the little things that I was reading. I was the person that researched everything on like the do's and don'ts when you're pregnant, do's and don'ts when you have the baby, because I didn't know all those things. Right. And as a first-time mom, I wanted to make sure that I was doing things right. So I didn't have postpartum depression. I was very much into Travis all the time, like,
Right.
and he was always with me.
Right. What is your parenting philosophy?
To provide the things that wasn't provided to me, but along with doing that, making sure that everything is just not given to him.
Correct.
And that even though I'm providing him the things that I didn't have, making sure that he's earning those things so that he don't grow up thinking things are just handed to him.
Right.
And knowing that everything that he gets, he has to work for. And even now, I make him do chores, or he has to do something in order to earn things that he asks for. So,
right. How do you handle like tantrums or when he's having like difficulty in his behaviors?
In the past, I struggled with that because growing up, we just got whooping.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
Straight to it. So
no talking it out, no nothing.
We're not doing that.
Right.
So that was a little bit of how I handled it in the beginning, like popping them or like making them go sit down and not really, and just tell them you need to be quiet. And then as time went on, I realized I hated that as a kid. And I didn't want him to feel that same way. So then I started incorporating, like explaining to him the things that he's doing wrong.
Right.
Or like telling him the things that I don't like that he's doing.
Right.
And allowing him to express how he's feeling.
Yeah.
So a little tad bit of gentle parenting, but also a little tad bit of hard discipline.
Yes.
Like, you still gonna get popped for doing things that you know
exactly that you're not supposed to do.
Right. So, and just in allowing him to express himself in a respectful way.
Correct. Because a lot of I sat down, me and my sister talk about it all the time. When we have kids, we're going to allow our children to express themselves, but express themselves in a respectful manner, not where, as you know, we've seen where, oh, shut up, mom, things like that. It's going to be more so, mom, can I tell you that you hurt my feelings, and this is why you hurt my feelings, and basically respecting one another. Yeah, because you want your child to be able, the Bible does say, honor your mother and father, but at the same time, you're not supposed to provoke your children. Right. And the children are supposed to honor and respect you, but you, once again, you cannot provoke your children to bad behavior. And we also got to remember that even with kids, like, you got to give respect in order to get respect. Exactly. They don't know how to respect you unless you respect them. Correct. Because you are the teacher. Right. You're here to steward them and to grow the way that you raise them. So, exactly. Just showing them what respect looks like is important. Right. Yeah. What impact has motherhood had on your career? I can say that it has negative and positive impact. Negative impacts because being that I do have a son, I have to work around his schedule, like finding childcare, making sure that the jobs that I take is not taken away from my time with him. And also make sure the job that I take is working around his school schedule, his extracurricular activities. Right. So that's what I mean by negative, because I can't take every job that's offered to me, or I can't apply for every job that's offered to me because I have a kid. But positive is because he is the reason why I do what I do. Like, I strive and I go hard for him. So in every career that I obtain, I'm going hard because I know that I got a son at home that I got to take care of. Right. And I know he loves his mommy. Mm-hmm. Very much so. Has motherhood changed you personally? Yeah, it's slowed me down. Okay. Like I said before, I was partying, clubbing, doing all the things. All the worldly good fun things that we all used to do. Yeah. So I think that motherhood has slowed me down to think about, okay, you got something to lose. You got a kid at home that if something happens to you, who's gonna take care of him? Right. So always putting that in my mind, like, all right, I can't do this because my kid at home, and you know what I mean. So it definitely slowed me down and made me think about the more important things in life. Okay. Yeah. So when did you come to the knowledge of Christ? Was it in your younger days, in your childhood, or in your teenage years, or when you became an adult?
So I grew up in a church. My sister's family, so me and my sister, we have the same father, not the same mother.
Okay.
But we live in the same city. So I would go to her house, she would come to my house as kids. But I would always go with her family for like church events. We would go to like conventions. So they would always keep me in church. So her family is who introduced me to God, and I got saved when I was like 11. But growing up, teenagers and all, being a teenager, wanting to do what I want to do.
Right.
I stray away from God. And then most recently, it's actually about to be a year. January 14th is when I got saved at City of God.
Okay.
Rededicated.
I was about to say rededicated your life.
Rededicated my life. Right.
Because once saved, always saved.
Yeah.
How do you teach Travis about God?
I mean, I put God in everything. So everything that we do, before we start our day with prayer. So before when we in the car and we on our way to school, we say a prayer. I teach him. Jasmine actually is the one who started teaching him how to pray.
Okay.
And then once I rededicated and I'm becoming close to Christ now, I also teach him like pray before you do anything, pray before we go anywhere. So I've taught him about prayer, and I also like even like small things like when he broke his arm, like I told him, well, there's only one person who can heal you, who can bring your arm back to the way that it was. So who is that? And he said God. So he would always pray like, God, please heal my arm and all this. So, and then when he got his cast off, and I was like, so you got your cast off, so what does that mean? He's like, that means that God healed my arm. And I was like, so what does that mean? He's like, that means that he answered my prayers. So just making sure that I'm building his belief and I'm building his faith in God in all things, even in therapy. He just started going to therapy. So even I asked the therapist, like, when he accomplished things, just make sure that he know that his accomplishments and his strength comes from God. Right. Because that's what we teach at home. Exactly. So yeah, everything that we do and everything that he do, I make sure that he always put God first.
So how does that help with having like him in the right places, and then you're telling the people that he's around to incorporate godly principles? Mm-hmm. So how does that help? Like, for example, with the therapist, you telling the therapist, hey, let him know that, you know.
I think first and foremost, I made sure that the therapist was a believer, and she's a believer of Christ. And I also made sure that her beliefs were on the same track, aligned with ours. Right. Because if it didn't, then that wouldn't work. Right. And then I also asked Apostle if it was okay for her to lead him in that spiritual way. Right. And he said that it was okay, but just making sure that she was aligned with our beliefs, and that the people who I do ask to incorporate those things are aligned with our beliefs.
What type of support do you find most helpful?
I think support is very important because it takes a village. Right. And it takes a village. People say it takes a village, but I don't think they really understand what it means until they're actually in a situation where you don't have nobody. Exactly. But for me and Travis, we have a village. Like, we have family, we have friends who step up and help us when we need help. Like, support as far as watching him when I'm at work, making sure that he's making the right choices, making sure that they're, even for me, holding me accountable for the things that I do. So yeah, support is important.
How do you connect with other mothers?
No, I have one really good friend. She go to our church. Okay. And her and my son are 2 weeks apart. So we were friends before. When we lived back in New York. So we both back from New York, and then she moved here, and then I moved here, and we just connected through a job. She was a manager at a job, and I applied for that job, and I'm like, I know this girl's name, but I don't really know if this is the same girl. But then it was. So long story short, we both got pregnant at the same time. Okay. And we had our sons 2 weeks apart.
Aww.
So like we've been going through this journey together, like all of their different milestones, like just to be able to vent and be able to express myself. She understands the struggles that I'm going through because we're both boy moms.
Right.
And she gives me advice, I give her advice.
It's just a space where you feel safe and it's not judgmental.
It's not judgmental at all, and she understands where I'm coming from. I understand where she comes from.
Right.
We can talk about the good, the bad, the ugly.
Right.
And it's never any judgment.
Right.
Yeah. And that way, it's really good to have that as a mother.
Yeah.
Because people who don't have kids, they can't understand the things that you're going through.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely. How do you handle unsolicited parenting advice?
I just don't take it. I'm just like, okay.
I can see you doing it. I don't see you being negative. Because I see a lot of mothers, when it comes to unsolicited advice, they take it to a whole other level and it's not even necessary.
No.
They can just simply say thank you.
Yeah, I just like, oh, okay, thanks. And then I just do it the way I think.
Right. What are your hopes and dreams for Travis?
That he be all the things that God had. That he be all the things that God wants him to be. That he stay on the path of Christ. And even when, and I know that there's going to be times where he might backslide or he might be of the world, but I pray that he always come back to Christ. And like I did, because we all made those mistakes. You know, we're not perfect.
Right.
So I definitely don't want him to be perfect, but I want him to know where home is. I want him to know who God is and the impact that he had on his life. And I just want him to be successful.
What advice would you give to a new mother?
Pray. Stay steadfast in what you're doing, to know that what you're doing is going to pay off. It's not going to be easy, but you can do it. We all can.
Looking back, is there anything you would have done differently?
As a mother, no. I think I learned from everything that I did. I wouldn't necessarily change anything that I did, because even when I did things wrong, I learned from it.
Right.
And I don't think that I would be the mom that I am today if I didn't have those things to learn from.
How effective is co-parenting?
Co-parenting is effective. It's good. I think that co-parenting is very important.
Yes.
Let's start there. It's very important to have a relationship with the other parent to where you can communicate your child's needs, and it not be about you or be about the other parent. It's all about the child.
Right.
And for me, I think me and my son's father have a good co-parenting relationship. And he's very supportive. And we do have a good co-parenting relationship, but we also have our own issues that are not fully resolved.
Right.
So sometimes it could be a little challenging, especially like I said, trying not to make it about me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Or him trying not to make it about him.
Right.
And just be like, it's about the baby.
Right.
So I think that it's important to first resolve the issues that you and your partner, your child's father or mother have, to build that strong relationship, because at the end of the day, the child needs both of y'all.
Right.
And I've never been that person to be like, oh, you can't go with your dad because I'm mad at him.
Right.
Thing.
Exactly.
I'm that person that'd be like, come get your son since you want to be, you know what I mean?
It's gonna be opposite.
Yeah.
Oh, she's gonna act like they come get him.
Come get him.
I know that's right.
So,
Are you currently dating?
No.
What was the biggest challenge in your past relationship, and how did you overcome it?
The biggest challenge was trust and infidelity. And I overcome it by choosing myself. And leaving those relationships when I felt like I wasn't being treated the way that I should have been treated.
Right.
And another big challenge in those is being in long relationships and going through infidelity and trust issues and all those things, and not knowing how to leave, especially once you have a kid. Once you have a kid, it becomes harder. So, and it comes out very much a lot more challenging. Yeah.
I feel that. I don't have children yet, but however, I can definitely understand where you're coming from, because yeah, I'm working on that.
Yeah.
Working on trusting people, period.
Yeah.
So, all right. How did you balance your individuality with being in a committed relationship?
I don't think I did a good job at that, because I think that I gave up a lot of myself to keep the relationship. I gave up a lot of my values to stay in a relationship or to keep the man. And I didn't put myself first at all. Right. I always put the feelings of the other person first, or I always did what I thought that they would like me to do, or you know what I mean. I didn't do a good job of that.
You're not alone. Yeah. So why do you think that many of us women do that? Because you're not the only one.
I don't think we know what our worth is. Yeah. And I don't think that we believe in who we are and what we deserve. And number one thing is insecurities. We grow up as little black girls with so many different insecurities that is not healed and that is not dealt with. And we bring those into relationships, and we look for those in men. We look for men to give us those validations, and when they don't, we don't know what to do.
Right.
And until we realize who we are and our value, we're going to continue to be in those cycles and do those things. I think that we have to put ourselves first and heal ourselves before we go into a relationship with someone else.
What is your definition of true love?
To me, it is loving someone unconditionally through their flaws, through their trials or tribulations, respecting them, and just falling in love every day. Like finding something else that you love about that person every single day.
Right. Yeah. I think the same thing. I don't think a lot of people these days understand that. They're looking for, let's see, like just only to be up all the time. Yes, and it's not going to be up all the time. Right. And then a lot of people don't know how to communicate what their wants and needs are. They expect for you to read in between the lines. They expect for you to know. And it's just like, no, this is how I want to be treated. Right. And if you don't treat me this way, like, you just gotta go. Yeah. And then it's just like you expect them to know like what they're supposed to do, and they're like a 2-year-old. Yeah. And it's just like, ugh. Yeah. Like what is this? Yeah. You expect for them to know.
And we all know that men don't mature as fast as we do.
Clearly.
So it's like you said, communication is important. Like saying the things that you want them to do, because they do not know how to read in between the lines, and they do not know how to read your mind. So the things that you don't like and the things that you do like, you need to just say it. Right. And I have to learn that myself, like, because I'm the same one, like, that I wouldn't like you to do that, but how would they know if you want to tell them?
Right. So what happens if once you tell them?
No, that's being carnal.
Okay.
Because you already know. It's just like sinning when you know that that's a sin, but you're going to do it anyway. So that's being carnal. So like, now we got a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I clearly told you.
I told you.
More than one time. And then you acting like this is something brand new.
No, sir.
Period.
No, sir. So I'm learning, like, I'm in a season where I'm not accepting anything. Like, red flag, bye-bye. You know what I mean? Like, there's not enough time in the day for me to sit here and keep throwing up flags.
Right.
Sweetie, if the flag ain't green, then you gotta go.
I know that's right.
That's why I'm not dating, because I don't feel like I'm ready to date, because I am in a season of I will drop you in a second.
Right.
I'm not. There's no chances.
Right.
So I'm just gonna wait for God to be like, "Hey yo, this is the one right here."
Right.
So you don't gotta drop him, just keep him. So you know.
He might give you a little headache every now and then, but hold on to him.
Yeah,
hold on to him. I'm working on him.
Okay. So yeah. I'll be praying like, Lord, whoever it is, work on them now, Lord.
Because they're gonna get dropped. And I don't want. You don't want to drop your kingdom.
Oh, that is. Just think about it. I done dropped my soulmate because I ain't ready. So yeah.
No, for real. And again, he's not obligated to give it to you twice.
He's not.
We will hope it come back around after you get yourself together. Okay, so how did you handle conflicts and disagreements in your past relationship?
I was lucky if you bug, baby.
Period.
Okay.
Because what you not gonna do is play with me.
And this is another thing that was toxic. Is my toxic trait.
Yes.
I don't know how to shut up.
Yeah.
And that is one of my worst toxic traits, is I do not know how to shut up. So if you say something sideways to me, I'm going to say something even more sideways. And then we're just going to have to keep going back and forth. And that is something that I'm currently working on, because that's not even only in
relationship.
A relationship. It's in
friendships or just
family, anything like.
We all got something we got to work on, okay?
So that is something that I am working on myself. And another reason why I'm not ready for my kingdom husband yet, because there's going to be times where, JaVonna, you just going to have to shut up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, yeah, I'm working
on instead
it.
of him telling you shut up, you have the Holy Spirit telling you shut up. Because you can't tell the Holy Spirit shut up.
Okay.
So the Holy
Spirit going to be like, JaVonna,
shut up.
Shut your mouth.
Period.
And I'm like, heard you.
And you ain't gonna have no choice but to shut up.
And I ain't gonna have no choice.
But, however, if you hear your man tell you to shut up, you gonna be on a whole different level. So that's exactly why it's important to have the Holy Ghost. I'm trying to tell you. Because
you need it. Because you need those disciplines inside of you.
Yes.
That's gonna be like, in your head, like, this is, just let him talk.
Yeah.
Just shut up and just let him talk.
Because if you
no matter what he's saying,
don't go
just let him talk.
Yeah.
Because you're just gonna make it worse with your mouth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Or you're going to say something to hurt him, and it's something you can't take back.
Right.
And that's what I found myself doing. I thought I was more so like a weaker person because I didn't say those things that I really wanted to say, not realizing that was self-control and that was the Holy Spirit the entire time. And I'm just like, baby, you might want to chill out. And I be trying to tell folks, like, I am sweet, real sweet, and I will give you shirt off my back. I'll probably give you 10 million chances, more than you should have. So once I step over into Peter, it's a little too late.
Okay.
It's a little too late to get the chopping your ears off in the spirit realm. Yeah. And get the slicing it like it's a wrap, because I told you several times, don't do this, and you specifically kept doing it. And then when I turn around and give it to you, then all of a sudden
now I'm crazy. I'm the crazy one.
Or
you provoke me and I'm the crazy one?
Oh, God.
But yeah.
My Lord.
So
I said,
the Lord is still working on me and my mouth.
Yes. Mine too.
And yeah. I'm learning. And I can say in this past year, like, I've been a lot more quiet. And I've even caught myself like, being a lot more reserved with my mouth.
Yes.
And realizing that everything don't need a response.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, just because they're saying something, that does not mean that they need a response.
Right.
Because they are looking for your response and your reaction.
I go into prayer mode.
In my head, Lord, tell them to stop, Lord.
I remember one time they kept going, and I said, Lord, get your son. Get your son. In my head, I'm like, Lord, get your son, because I'm about to let him have it. And he said the wrong thing, and I'm sorry. Like, my prayer just stopped, and I just I let him have it, because it's just like, no, because now you're doing too much, and now you have a good night, because this is what you're not gonna do.
Working on it.
Yes.
He's working on it.
Yes. And I bet he changed that tone.
And did.
God is working on us.
Yes, he is.
What is the most important thing you have learned about self-care in a relationship?
You need time to yourself. It does not always have to be the both of y'all.
Right.
Both need y'all individual time by yourself, y'all individual time with your own friends, and to take that time to really just be by yourself and not worry about the relationship or anything. Still being respectful to your spouse, but just feeling like you just got that time to like breathe and just do your own thing for, even if it's a few hours or a weekend or a getaway, you know what I mean? So just having that time to yourself.
What is the most important thing you learned about emotional intelligence in a relationship?
All the things that I learned is from negative things happening to me. Like, I have never been in a healthy relationship to learn healthy things.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I've learned things through trauma.
Yes.
I have never learned things through like healthy relationships.
Right.
So I don't know yet.
Okay.
I'm still learning, and that might even be something that my spouse have to teach me, because a healthy spouse have to teach me, because I don't know what that looks like.
Right.
So yeah.
I love your honesty. How do you prioritize your relationship if you have a busy life?
You ever heard the saying, you make time for the things that you want to make time for?
Right.
So that's what I do. Like, even in my busy times, I try to find like fun things for us to do. Like, oh, let's go to the movies, or just setting up things for us to do, even though we both may be busy.
Right.
Setting aside time for us to do something fun or something just chill together.
Right. What is most important in your relationship?
Honesty, communication, love, and trust.
Right. Don't forget God.
Okay, number one.
Because if you ain't got him, baby.
Sorry, Lord, stop for that. Thank you first.
You knew what she meant, Lord.
Yeah.
But I had to throw it out there.
Thanks for that.
What are the two most important roles in a relationship for you?
The two most important roles probably would be leadership. Not only my spouse being a leader, but God being his leader to lead our house. And then communication.
Period. Because without communication, then there is nothing. You can't even get to trust if you don't have communication. Right. So, what was the most romantic thing your partner has ever done for you? Or a partner has done for you?
Can I be honest?
Yes.
Okay. I have never had anybody do anything that I think is romantic for me. I am the romance.
I am too.
Like, I can tell you romantic things that I've done, but I literally can't think of anything romantic that, and I think that is a part of error in all of my relationships is that's my love language.
Yes.
Like I like,
girl, me too.
I like surprises, like
right.
And
you thought about me?
Yeah, yes. And that's the thing. Like it's not even like, oh, I bought you something. I like thoughtful romantic things. Like
yes.
You had to put thought into doing this.
Right.
Like you had to know me and able it for you to be able to do this.
Right.
Like so that's my love language. I like for people to do thoughtful things for me.
Right.
But I don't think I've ever been in a relationship where somebody blew me away and I'm just like,
girl,
that's so sweet.
And I think that's something that hopefully they could teach. Well, I don't know, that we could teach our young boys.
Yes.
That it's okay to think about another human being. Like you don't have to be selfish and things like that. So I feel like that's what our future generation, well, you already got Travis. I don't have any, but that's what I'm saying. Our future children, we can instill in them like it's okay to romanticize, but be led by the Spirit also to know if you should gift this young lady with that, or if you should do this for this person. Now, don't go in the classroom doing it for everybody, because then they're gonna expect something all the time. But just having that, it's okay to think about.
And that's actually something that I try to instill in Travis. Even small things like I noticed that he do is like if I get dressed, he'll say, "Mommy, you're so beautiful." Aww. And so like I know that I done planted that like little seed in him to like do small nice gestures,
words of affirmation.
Yeah, for women because it's important. On Valentine's Day, I had him buy balloons and chocolates for all his aunts, and we went to their house and surprised them with balloons and chocolate. And they were all like, "Oh, Travis." So I'm just like, see, it's nice to do nice things for the people that you love.
Right.
So yeah, please, everybody, instill this in y'all sons.
Yes, please.
And let y'all daughters know how to accept these things.
Right.
Teach them how to accept these things.
Exactly.
Because
make sure daddy is teaching them, or uncle's teaching them, godfather is teaching them. It's okay. And just because a man is like speaking to you or respectful to you does not mean necessarily that he wants you. He's just being
nice.
Yes.
Yes.
He's just being nice. Because I've come across a couple of guys who were just saying, "Oh, hey, how you doing? You look nice." But did I take it as if he wants me? No. He was just being kind because his mom, grandma, auntie, somebody, or even dad, somebody taught him how to just be respectful and not be so aggressive when talking to women.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm the romancer.
Right.
I hope God blesses me with a husband that know how to romanticize me.
He will give you double for your trouble.
Okay.
And I can't wait because I'm ready to be soft because I'm tired of being hard and masculine. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Period. Because being strong is I'm tired.
It's annoying.
I'm tired. Yes. What does healing mean to you?
Healing means to be the person who God intended me to be when He put me in my mother's womb. So throughout life, I haven't followed Him, so I've been through
right.
And now that I am on a journey, a spiritual journey, healing is more of me always putting God first and reaping what I sow into God.
Right.
And knowing that that's the only way that I'll be able to heal is by following God, doing the things that He's telling me to do, being obedient to Him.
So we can avoid those things, so we don't have to heal from.
Right.
Oh, Jesus.
Right. And that's not to say that I'm not going to go through things.
Right.
I'm not going to go through things that is going to hurt me in a way that I have to then go through this whole process of healing again.
Right. Exactly. Can you share a pivotal moment in your life that sparked your journey toward healing?
The end of my relationship. end of my relationship with my son's father took me to a point where I was at my lowest, and I didn't feel like I can go any lower. Like, this is it for me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, for me, it was like, okay, so it's only up from here. Everything that I've been through in these past 6-7 years, like, I'm ready to be done with that and to move on with my life and heal from that. So like, I think that the end of that relationship is where I started to put myself first, and everything around me started to shift. So yeah, that was it.
Period. What are some common misconceptions about the healing process that you like to address?
That is just 1, 2, 3. Everybody talk about the healing. Oh, I'm healing. But they don't talk about the process that you have to go through. Loneliness.
Right.
All the tears. Even accepting your own wrongs and all the things that you did.
Yeah.
So they just say the word healing, but they don't actually talk about the journey of it.
Right. How do you integrate physical, emotional, and spiritual aspects into your approach to healing?
I think my healing is mostly through prayer. Everything is through prayer. When I wake up, before I go to sleep, I'm praying throughout the day. I think that is the center of my healing, is prayer. And then physical and emotional, and I'm just giving myself grace, and I'm accepting the grace that God has given to me.
Yes.
And repenting for the things that I did, and also just loving myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in the process, forgiving those who hurt you as well.
Right. Number one, forgiveness. And no matter, even now, like, things that are done to me now, I don't take them as the way that I used to take them.
Yeah. You don't take them like
personal anymore.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm just like, okay, it is what it is.
Right.
It's all right. Move on.
Right. It's more so, it's something wrong with inside of them versus something inside of you. Because I'm that type of person. Like, I used to take things personally. Now it's just like, okay, that has nothing to do with me. That's something that you're dealing with. And it's more so I'm putting it back on you, because that's not my responsibility.
Right.
And I'm more vocal, because I was a person that I would shut down and I wouldn't say anything. But now it's more so, no, I need to step up and say, hey, this is what's affecting me, and I don't like the way you're treating me, things like that. So therefore, you continue to treat me this way.
Right.
It's goodbye.
Yeah. And I agree with that. I used to be the same way. Like, if something was to happen to me, I would shut down, because I need to process on my own. Like, I need to think about what I should say or how I should say it. And I would just be like, and it would take weeks. Okay, I would be quiet.
Right.
Quiet.
Right.
I would say all the negative things. But as far as the root of the issue, I really would need to process. But now I'm just like, I'm in a place of my healing, since we're talking about healing, that I don't take it personal anymore.
Right.
Like, whatever you did is you. That's on you. That has nothing to do with me.
Right.
So just remembering who I am.
Yes. What are some of the most challenging aspects of your healing journey?
Accepting my wrongdoing.
Yes.
And I don't like being wrong.
Yeah.
So just saying, like, okay, I was wrong in that situation. Yeah. Let me apologize.
Right.
That is hard for me.
Okay.
Because I hate being wrong.
Yes.
So that is the most challenging part of my healing, because in order to heal, I have to do that. You know what I mean? I have to take accountability for the things that I'm doing, because it's not always somebody else.
Right. So, exactly. I feel like that aspect for me is kind of easy, but I feel like it's only easy when I have not been provoked. So once you provoke me, I will say, well, I asked you nicely not to press that button, and you pressed it anyway. But what I will do is I'll apologize for my tone. I may not apologize for what I said because I'm an overthinker. So once I've thought about it, baby, I done thought about it 10 times over. So once I said it, it's just gonna come out. So I apologize for my tone, but I meant what I said.
Yeah.
Because if I'm treating you with respect, and I'm treating you with calmness, and I'm not coming at you sideways, I don't expect for you to come at me sideways. Because again, respect is earned, it's not given. But however, if you know me for 6+ months and you already know how I am, it's just like, why would you do that? Right. I wouldn't do that to you. So that's just like, some things are like, I feel like it's common sense, but some people just like to test your patience. Yeah. So when I feel like you're allowing the devil to use you, I'm going to correct you the first time. And then the second time, I'm going to put a little emphasis on it. Because obviously you didn't hear me the first time.
Exactly.
And after that, it's just like, it is what it is. And then I will say, like I've said in multiple conversations, confrontations, I apologize for what I said. Oh no, I apologize for how I said it. But I'm specific with my words these days because
have to be.
Yeah, because people should know what they're doing.
Yeah,
and it's like some people's some people's intellect is not always all there, and they think that they're all the way up here, when in actuality
they're not.
They're like below the totem pole. And it's just like, I've learned that I've grown. I'm more intelligent than I thought I have. So it's like during this space of isolation where I moved away from a lot of things, distractions, things like that, it's like now it's like seems like I'm in my own head. However, it gives me time to sit and think, deal with my emotions,
right,
and then be able to effectively communicate my emotions with those who care about me or say they care about me, and then I just go from there. And then after that, I just don't answer the phone because obviously you're not getting it. Yeah, absolutely not getting it. How did you overcome setbacks or moments of doubt during your healing process? Like moments like, I don't think I can do this. Because I have those all the time.
I think that I just go through it.
Yeah.
I have to go through it. And then I snap to the realization like, girl, you can do this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I always go through not thinking I'm worthy, or not thinking that I'm good enough.
Right.
Or this is too hard for me. But then I get those thoughts of, you did this, you did that, you accomplished this, and you accomplished that, so why can't you accomplish that?
Right.
So I go through that process. I just go through the process. And in the end, I always am successful.
Yes.
But I think that we just have to roll through it. And as long as you get to the other side, you're good, but it's gonna happen.
All right. I feel like a lot of times as Black women, we're hard on ourselves all the time.
Too hard.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm unlearning that in this time here. It's like I'm unlearning some behaviors that I thought were normal and thought was okay and things like that. And I'm learning that, okay, no, this is like, give yourself grace.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't understand what that was. Now it's like I'm understanding, okay, you messed up. Get back up.
Yeah.
Try it again.
Yeah.
You can do it. Like you said, push yourself forward. Like you can do it. What tools have been most impactful for you in your healing journey?
The word, reading the word, and building my relationship with God.
Can you share a specific story where you experienced a significant breakthrough in your healing?
Yes, I can. So, like I said, my relationship with God, building my relationship with God, reading my word, and in prayer, I will always ask God like to pull me closer to Him.
Yes.
And to help me to build our relationship and to make me more vulnerable to Him.
Yes.
So one Sunday, and me and my sister, we would always talk about people speaking in tongues and stuff, and how I don't know how to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So And in prayer, I would ask God, like, oh, if they can do it, then why can't I speak to you through the Spirit and all that stuff? And the last question, I would doubt myself, like, oh, okay, maybe that's only for them, or maybe that's just not something that I can do, or a gift that God had for me or something. And so one Sunday in church, I went up for prayer, and I don't know what happened, but I went up for prayer, and right after the prayer, I instantly just started speaking in tongues.
Wow.
I can't even, I'm going to try my best to explain it. Like, it was just like something took over my body.
Yes.
And my mouth was moving, but what my mouth was saying was not what I was saying in my head.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yes.
Like, in my head, I was saying, thank you, Jesus. Like, hallelujah. But what was coming out was totally different than what I was saying.
Right.
And the crazy part about it is, like, I can hear myself saying these things, and I can do my best to try to say what I'm thinking, but I couldn't. And then it came to a point where I was thinking, like, how am I doing this? Or like, what is going on? And every word that came out of my mouth, it was like in tongues. Wow. And then I talked to Pastor Forbes, and she was just telling me, like, that was the Spirit speaking through you. You weren't allowed to talk, but it was the Spirit speaking through you.
Wow.
And I'm just like, it was amazing. It was the most craziest experience I ever had. And then it happened like 2 times after that. And like, it just made me feel like, dang, God is really doing his big one on me.
Period.
You know what I'm saying? And like, he is doing exactly what I'm asking him to do. He's not only healing me, but he is also pulling me closer to him by listening to my prayers, and then showing me that, see what I can do. You know what I mean?
Right.
That was a big breakthrough in my healing journey and also in my spiritual journey, because my healing and my spiritual journey is aligned. Yeah. Like, the closer I get to God, I feel like the more healed I am.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was amazing.
I am so happy for you.
Girl, can I tell you something?
Yes.
You can, but you just hold yourself back from doing it. That's what I learned about myself.
Yeah.
Like,
because I feel like I can hear the tongues and I can feel them.
Yeah.
But it's like I get nervous because I'm not sure.
You too in your head. So this is also what I learned about myself.
Oh, okay. Apostle. Okay, Apostle.
All right, listen, bro. So something that I learned about myself is that when I went to church, like, it was more so to watch other people, and also like, I was in my head thinking, like, what other people are thinking when they look at me.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I was too into myself. Like, I was too into, like, oh, they thinking this, they thinking that, or, oh God, they think I'm crazy type of things, you know what I mean? Right. So I was so into my own head. And through my journey and through the process with God, like, I had to realize, like, who cares?
Right.
What anybody else is thinking, as long as you're there to praise God, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And to align yourself with God. So that's and I still struggle with that. Like, I still struggle with distractions of other people, and worrying about what other people is thinking about me. And that's not what we're there for.
Right.
So once I was able to just be like, you know what? Today I'm just about to just
let loose.
Yes.
About to let loose.
Girl, I started speaking. I started shundering, and I was like, my God.
Okay.
And then the crazy thing is, I can't do it playing around.
Right.
So that's how I knew it was real, because like, I was trying to tell Jasmine what I was saying, and I'm just like, I don't know how to do it faking. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Fluently, because like on the prayer call, they just flow. And
I don't know how to do that. I cannot do it.
And when they're on the prayer call and they're praying,
crazy.
I just start praying like, God, yes, I would love to speak in tongues, but I want you to do it for me, and I want you to move me out the way, because I'm not like, and again, I don't want it to be a comparison thing, but also I just haven't gotten there yet.
And yeah, you just gotta keep praying, and like, just be willing after you pray, that after you ask God for those gifts, you got to be willing to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to be willing to step outside yourself and just let yourself flow.
Right.
And do it, and just be like, okay, I don't even care about anybody else in this room.
Right.
It's just me and you. So
Right.
yeah, that's what I'm learning to do. And every Sunday it's a process. Like every Sunday I go through the process of that thought of what other people think about me. But then as I go through the service, I'm like, okay, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's an everyday process.
Yeah.
God, but yeah. So yeah, healing has been a good journey for me.
That's good. I'm getting there. Like I'm not getting there, but I feel like I'm in my healing phase, and I have to stop being afraid of letting people go. Like, you've served your time, and it's time to just get the boot. And I think that's where I'm struggling at with certain people and even certain family members. Like,
yeah,
I love you, but I'm gonna love you from a distance. I don't hate you. I forgive you. I love you, but therefore I just no longer want you in my space.
Yeah.
Because obviously you're gonna continuously do things that
you don't agree with.
Yes. Or do things that hurt me, and I'm no longer in that space.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm not saying I don't feel like I'm better than anybody ever, but I feel like my mind has expanded to a different level, and I feel like I've outgrown spaces, and I shouldn't feel sorry for outgrowing those spaces. I should I feel like I was put in a box for a long time, and I feel like I've outgrown that box.
Yeah.
So therefore, whenever you feel like you've outgrown that box, bust the doors down and do your thing.
Time to go.
Yeah.
I think we all. I've been in that space, coming from a small town, and moving to a big city. Going back to that small town, I realized my thought process is
totally different from y'all's. Like, y'all still on the same thing from 2010, and I'm up here. Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And like you said, I'm not better than not one person from back there, because they didn't have the same experience I had. They didn't have the same opportunity that I had. Moving and being able to grow in that way. So no, I'm not better than them. And I pray that they do get opportunities to see other things.
Yeah.
But like you said, we outgrow relationships, we outgrow places, we outgrow people, we outgrow jobs. And we just gotta be strong enough and wise enough to move on when we need to move on.
Thank you, JaVonna, for joining us today to talk about healing, relationships, and parenting. Stay tuned for another episode.